Well, good evening, everybody. It is Whiskey Friday. Got a little water. Got a little melty whiskey. It's hot. Got some props for you. Let you all stumble in here this beautiful Friday evening here in the Northwest. It is nice in the summertime up here. It really is nice. Got a few things for you tonight. Going to do a little show and tell on the appropriate, specific, and successful way to release the disconnects between the canister and the damper. Hint, hint. You need a pressure gauge. If you don't have a pressure gauge, shame on you, because we send them with the kit. So, or shame on me if you didn't get one and you were supposed to have one. Shame on everyone. Shame. Shame. What else? We got an update on the 992 GT3 RS. It is likely to make the track day. It is likely to make it with some brand new bits that we will show you here in a minute. Once we get a few of you in the chat. Let me hit up my homies, see if anybody wants to join us. Yeah. And in case you didn't think that we were working, that's Philip down there grinding Emmett's repair for his headers that he bashed into a curb, because he actually drives his car, and good for him. Hey, what's up, Mr. Larry Beck? How you doing in Austin? Larry's a regular around these parts. When are you coming back to town, Larry? Or are you coming back to town? You coming to the Northwest for anything? Mr. Himmelman, how are you, sir? Oh, very cool. 992, can you scooch that a little bit to the left? I can't read everybody's comments. Beautimus. Beautimus. Very cool. Hopefully you got a reasonable track alignment on it. But even without it, you're going to have a hoot, because the car is very, very capable. Very, very capable on track. If you do need to get a track alignment on it, then we got your bits. You'll see those in a minute. See those in a minute. We always got the bits. What's up, Mr. West? Good and happy Friday to you. Excuse me, for those that you might have heard that magnified through the microscope. That was a bit of onions from the very delicious taco truck burrito that we had for lunch. Cheers. Or that I bought everybody for lunch. Not everybody had it, but. All right, so let's give you an update on the 992 RS. It is up at our friend's Roger Jobs in Bellingham. It's been there for a little over a week. They had a delay and it's up there because it has an oil sump leak. The bottom of the engine, where the oil pump lives, was leaking around the metal case that goes around it, the sump that holds the oil. So that was leaking. And we sent it on its way up to Bellingham. Actually, they were kind enough to come pick it up in a trailer, which is great. And they had almost all the parts there before the car got there, which was killer, because we took some pictures and kind of told them what was up. One of the parts they needed was not available. I see my producer, Mr. Justin, over here madly scrolling for the pictures of the leaky oil sump so you guys can see it. It had been a while ago but it is in there. It is in there, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, um, so they finally got all the parts. They're taking the car apart. There's been some scuttlebutt through the internets and for various folks that are aware of it that the 992 glass is very thin. A couple GT3 owners have been experiencing cracked windshields. Like one of our buddies over in Spokane has gone through 4. There's that leaky oil sump. See how a little oil drip sitting there? You can blow that up if you want for everybody to see it. There we go. So that's the case there that's holding all of the oil, if you will. And of course, to get that out, whole engine has to come out. So engine has to come out because that is connected to the oil tank. The oil tank has to come out by pulling it towards the front of the car, which can't do when the engine's in the car. So whole engine has to come out. Then you take all that apart, put new parts on there, put it back in. They had all the parts. They were removing one of the bits on the top so they could get some more stuff situated, get the engine back in the car, and the rear window broke. Literally, he barely put his hand on it to try and pull up on a piece of and the rear window cracked. So luckily they were on it because they knew we were on a timeline for making a track day next week, and they found a rear window. They're on back order from Germany currently because this has happened to so many 992 RSs so far. I'm glad the oil sump parts weren't on back order. So if throw it in the chat box if you guys are experiencing any issues, or leave a comment if you guys are experiencing issues with broken windshields for 992s, broken rear windows. I've heard about broken side windows. So sure seems like there's a glass problem with Porsche right now, either a glass or an installation, because Justin had an idea. He did glass windshields for a while. He did windshield replacements. How long did you do that, Justin? Justin did that for about 2 years, and he thinks it's actually the amount of adhesive that's going in there when they put the window in that they're using. Is it too much or not enough? Both. Okay. It's dependent on the rail, and you got to get exactly the right bead amount in there. Otherwise, the glass will flex too much with too much in there, or it won't be cushioned enough from chassis flex, and it'll crack the glass from it actually hitting metal and popping it. So, but anyway, the guys at Roger Jobs are taking care of it, and they're expecting to have that car wrapped up by Monday and on its way to us, which would be fantastic. That way we can get some of our new suspension goodies on the car, some of which we showed you guys last week, and we'll grab them again. But we do have some new bits we can share. I think these are a world's first. Get Justin a chance to load up that new camera. Oh, you want to give him the full Shazam packages first? Yeah, we can do that, and then we can show them live. So this is the full Shazam package. What are we calling this? Is this the Pro or? Yeah, something like that. So Ted, so quick shout out to my man Ted. He's not feeling well today. Was it Wednesday? His littlest one threw up on the way home. Yeah, I think it was Wednesday on the way home. And then he was sick all night, got some kind of stomach virus. And then his eldest was sick yesterday, stomach virus, and now he's sick. So Ted is finishing up all of the packages. We're getting these all on the website, but in essence, what we've got here is kind of in the lower middle are what we're calling the upper camber links. They look like a U with an extra bit on the bottom. That's what goes on the top of the wishbone, and it attaches to the upright. We shortened it up so it'll allow the wishbone or the upright to come a little bit more into the wishbone, and then you can manage how much it goes in or out. In the upper left hand corner, we have the lower inner control, or inner bearing of the lower control arm. There we go. Inner, lower. It's like talking about teeth, mesial, interlingual, blah blah blah, all this crap. I got to deal with this stuff all the time, but strange for a different reason. So that's part of the lower control arm you see there. And then if you scroll, if you back out, we can talk about the tension arm. So the inner part of the lower control arm helps increase track width. It also aids in adding more camber if you need it. The tension arm is the part that is non-adjustable on the 992 3RS and the 992 GT3. And that's what allows you to position the wheel in the wheel well adequately so that you can maintain your caster and maintain your wheelbase as you increase camber. Here's a live view of them. We can spin them around for you a little bit. We kept the winged shape so that you can keep your aerodynamics through the front of the RS and add it to the GT3. I'm sorry, I won't actually do much in the GT3 or as much in the GT3 because there's not a lot of airflow going through the fender like there is in the RS because of the radiators being in the GT3 versus no radiators in the RS. But hopefully that's pretty obvious. So those will be, I think the tension arms, the actual production batch will be ready here in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. These are the first articles that we got from the machine shop. They look great. They have a wonderful turnbuckle mechanism with left hand and right hand threads. You just get your wrench on there and spin the turnbuckle and it expands it or shrinks it, get you right dialed in. So we're real happy with these. We're going to quickly put them on our 992 GT3 RS. Plan is to match what we ran on the 992 GT3 for alignment specs, because it seems odd to me that the car that has more aero can generate more G's wants less camber than the previous car, even when we put all of our sauce on it. We put all our sauce on the 992 GT3 and it wanted like -3.5 in the front, and it did really well with that. So running -2.5 per Porsche's recommendation, and I mean, that's pretty much all you can get out of the front of the car anyway. I think there's more to get. We'll just say that. There's more to get out of the 3RS once we get all of our goodies and such on it. So those are the new parts for the one of the new packages. We have a whole slew of new packages. Run through some of the, like the 981 Pro Kit, the one with everything on there. 718 GT4 RS, we got you. We got whole pile of parts for you. And yes, you need all of them. There we go. So we got tension arms, we got inner and outer lower control arms, we got caster pucks, we've got rear tie rods, front tie rods, yeah, right, Larry? Literally. Yeah, our recommendation from Manti is to run it the way we have it in the factory. Wow, are you German? Please tell me you're German without telling me you're German. Those things. Those end links. Sway bar end links. That's what I was looking for. Sway bar end links. So, this would be your full jam package. Oh, and of course the shims for the lower control arms, and shims for the tension arms. And I think that's all the shims. There are no more shims. There are no more shims. So we're excited to have these in-house, made to our specs, where brake ducts fit without zip ties, where caster pucks come with marks on them and marks on the alignment markings on both the lower control arm and the caster puck, where everything's pinch bolts. You've got all the shims you need. They're Teflon lined, chrome plated, FK bearings everywhere, really high-end shit. So we're really excited to get these out in the world, both to have new products and to get you guys some really cool shit. And any of our dealers, please reach out. We would love for you guys to stock some of these things, especially the shim kits for your customers. And Ted and I have been kicking around. We've never asked our dealers to stock things, but for those of you that are interested in stocking, there might be an extra special something we can do for you at a certain level of stocking, if that's interesting. Don't you love how I come up with shit on the fly? It's kind of, you know, I'm not a procedure, and that's the engineer. That's the part of the engineer in me that never really took, was the write it all down and check the plan and all that stuff. I'm kind of a off the cuff kind of fella in a lot of ways. Although you guys would have never thought of that, would you? I don't show up with a script. I just kind of drink a little bit and come say what comes to mind. So Charles will be with us here shortly. He is working on a beautiful green 997.1 GT3 RS. We're giving it a little bit of a retune. We've been working with the 997s and our D4 packages. We'll come back to that a little bit more in the future when things are finally all the way across the line. But we've noticed on some of the bits, yes, the part that never took was called filter. That's fair. That's fair, because I get accused of giving away the farm very often. There's even a meme about it. So yeah, we can show Daryl's GT4 RS. That's good. We've got this is YouTube we did a while ago. So this one's been done for a minute, but Daryl's a great customer. He's a great guy. And he predates Dundon Motorsports as one of Charles' customers. So he's literally OG Dundon before there was Dundon Motorsports. So his car's got full D4 package, and we're tweaking some low RPM drivability stuff. What we found is everything works so well that we're causing a bit of turbulence in the tube that the MAF sits in. So we've got to straighten out that air so that the MAF, so let me back up. The way a MAF works, mass airflow sensor, it's a hot wire, and there's a voltage that keeps the wire hot. And as the wire cools off, the voltage will increase or decrease. So there's a little wire in there, and the car can pick up through the voltage and a calculation of air density, temperature, humidity, these kinds of things, how much that wire is going to cool off, and then it can calculate the amount of air going through there, assuming that all the air going through there is laminar. Hey, welcome, Mike. Sorry, Mike. Gabe. Sorry. We have a shop in Austin by Mike that's called, what's it called, Larry? What's not Black Sheep. It's called Black Sheep now, but his phone number is still Winding Road, not the Winter Circle. Yeah. Anyway, so when the air is turbulent, if it's turbulent by the MAF will read it as being faster or more air than it's supposed to be, and the fueling's going to be off. So we've got a screen in there now. We're fixing some of that low speed stuff. High speed's been fine. Low speed's been a little bit off. So got all that put together. And did it for the 997.2 that recently left. And what's up, brother? And going back and doing it for the 997.1. And excited to roll this out for everybody. We've got a slightly revised Y pipe. So yeah, I know. He still shows up as winding road on our this is the amount of power you can make with a D4 kit on a 997.1. Look at that right graph. It's freaking absurd. 365 to where is it? Where are we at now? Does that say 74? I can't read it on mine. 74.8 horsepower increase at Redline. Kind of stupid on a just bolt-ons. So super fun. Our friend Brian, who is on here, Mr. Brian Himmelman, he has this on his beautiful silver and orange 997.1 GT3 RS. Got a couple other guys. I don't think they're in here now, but Vin Anatra has this on his 997.2 GT3 RS, and it makes 465 on our dyno. So it's a hoot. Turns the car into a serious machine. Makes it very relevant now. Which is super fun. It's not just driving an old car. It's actually driving a badass car with a stick and the proper noises. So, anyway, that's Charles is out getting a little bit of a little niggly bits. He's getting those dialed in, and we will continue to refine that product line for all of y'all as we move forward. Let's show the hoodies, just so that homies can see that, because I see the picture up there. Oh, is that the old? Oh, yeah, that's the first model. Yeah. You just go to the apparel site. Hoodies. So many people have asked us about hoodies. And we finally, so a couple things that we've been waiting on is we took all the apparel off of our main website and we put it on kind of a sister website, if you will. And reason we did that is we've got a back-end system for our MRP, for our manufacturing resource planning, that the app for the print on demand for the t-shirts and stuff like that was kind of mucking up the works, right? So it'd make our inventory look twice as much because it was saying there was 2 inventory locations, and just it wasn't working well. So we got rid of it, and now we have all of the apparel on one website, all of our products on another site, and you can get back and forth between the two with the menus, and you can get back to our website and you get to the apparel website just like you used to, but it would be 2 purchases now. So if you bought shirts, you'd buy them from the one website and check out, and if you bought an exhaust, you would buy that from our main website and check out. So how about that? The number of new things we're going to be adding to the apparel and lifestyle site. So we're trialing some metal prints so that we can get Justin's beautiful eye and talent for capturing images out into the world for y'all to be able to purchase for your wall, for your man cave, a number of things. We're going to trial a couple different kind of coffee mugs to get them out there. They'll all be done and branded, so they'll be on point. These are shots that he got at Rensport. I think those were through the fence, weren't they? Yeah, these are through a fence, which is just kind of silly. So, and we'll be continuing to get them of kind of local cars, and we came to an agreement with the PCA so that when he takes pictures of our cars or some of our customer cars at PCA events, because they always have a photographer there and we don't want to take anything from him, we're only going to put our pictures up for sale on our website for things that are of importance to us. I'm sorry, the guy driving the 1996 Boxster at the PCA event probably not going to take a picture of your car, brother, unless you just happen to be getting passed by one of our cars. So, no offense, but not our jam. But those will be available on our website 90 days or so after the events. So, oh, you want to bring Justin to Laguna for Grid Life? When is that? Justin will be down. He likes climbing that hill at Laguna Seca in the heat. Right. I mean, literally, Justin's. We need to get him a mic. Honestly, I think that was a good comment because hearing the producer is always good, especially when he's heckling me. Yeah, Boxer guy's always getting shafted, literally. And what's funny, September 27th, 29th, so same time as Rensport last year. I really think a GT3 RS would show well there with all of our shit on it, like a full Dundon Lab Rat. So I think it would do really, really well at Grid Life. Although the competition's getting pretty stiff. Boys showing up with built engines and vented hoods and all the rest. And man, yeah. Still doesn't compare. We still got to get you an intake, homie. We still got to get that intake on your car. Oh, and honestly, we need to get you a revision on your Cobb tune once you have an intake, because Charles just got 500 wheel out of a 991.2 GT3 manual. So we need to get that done before September 27th. Talk to Jason. Get that across the line, brother. We talked about that last time. And hopefully your shocks are actually charged and running the same this time. That was really tragic last time at Coda. Who? Justin has a Coda date coming up too? Thank you, Dougie. I won't. I got schooled. So I'm taking my cycling more serious than I have in the past. And I had a question. I'm using this. I'll give you a little cycling story because Mr. Doug is joined us. So Doug is my cycling hero. He's been cycling for a long time, and he's a badass on a bike. Like, can throw down 300 watts like it's not a big deal. Him and Reese, Jesus, these boys are fucking monsters. So I just started last year. I started taking it more serious. I got my trainer, got my system. I'm doing my trainer road, and it does all these interval training and all this stuff, and I'm doing my thing, and I'm like, this is kind of easy. And everybody's like, then your functional threshold power is wrong. That means that whatever you did is not correct. So do it again. To measure your functional threshold power, you essentially get on the bike and it'll hold a certain power output for a minute, and then it ramps it up, and then it ramps it up, and then it ramps it up, and it ramps it up, and it just keeps going. So it's about 20 minutes of just increasingly more and more difficult cycling until you get to the point you can't do it anymore. You know, where you can't go anymore, and it's a bit of a seal check, meaning how strong is your mind versus how much pain can you get through. And I'm a weenie. I'll admit that. I'm a pussy when it comes to that. Legs start hurting. I start sweating hard. I start breathing hard. I'm done. I'm good. No thanks. And it went up. So, in my book, you are, homie. My FTP went up, I don't know, 8% from the time that I had done it before. So the training was working. So anywho, I'm doing it's an AI kind of, it looks at how many rides you've done. It's a thing called Trainer Road and all this. Like, I'm going to bore all you guys here for a second, but I'm just going to talk about it because it's important to me right now. Sets up training for you, blah, 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 blah. And what's up, Oris? How you doing? So I get to the recovery week and I'm looking at this because I just got done and I'm like, I finally got this dialed in so it's not easy. And now it wants me to pedal at like 70 watts for an hour. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? All my bike friends are like, this is when you get stronger. You got to do your recovery week. The whole week. You pedal and you don't fuck around. Just get stronger. That's when it happens. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know. All this human physiology and athletic shit is new to me. I was a band geek when I went to high school, so I don't fucking know. I don't know any of this shit. That's why I'm sitting here talking to you about cool shit that we engineer. So anyway, and I digress, but that's why you guys hang out. Exactly. Doug comes in, drops one comment, sidetracks Jamie for 10 minutes. My work is done here. Good to see you here, brother. It's been a minute. I know you've been busy in the last few weeks, so thanks for coming, Dougie. So hoodies, new parts, pictures, coffee mugs. We're going to try and do some furniture in the new store. You did get. Okay. How'd you get did you buy an intake? I forget. Ah, yeah. Okay. All right. I forget. You definitely need a retune from us, brother. So let's get that across the line, and please run 100 octane. Don't run that 91 bullshit because it's horrible. I know you wouldn't, but yes. What's that? Yeah. Do the stock one. That's much more compelling, but yes. No, that's not stock. Should be a much bigger delta for the whole thing. Yeah, that'll work. Just blow it up. So Gabe, here's what we're talking about. So the bottom, so this is the, you want to show the car real quick? Just because it's a pretty car. I think it's Polar Silver. Did you have it up there? All right, I just wasn't paying. It's when I was talking about bike shit. All right, no worries. There it is. So this is our customer, Eric Bond, who's a restaurateur here in Seattle. Bar and what's the other name of his restaurant? This is when I should take notes, but I don't take notes. You know. ETA on gray hoodies, never. Buy a white one and a black one. Wear them at the same time. Now you have a gray one. They don't offer it. Oris is busting my balls because that's what his request was the other day. Anyway, so beautiful. I think it's Polar Silver, but I don't know what it is. Eric says it's PTS Silver Blue. Can't find that as anything, but fine. Bottom is the car stock. Middle is the car D3 kit, no tune. Top is D3 kit with tune, with some of the new maps that Cobb opened just for us because they like us. So, you wear black and white, it makes gray, right, Orist? I thought so. Or you can bleach a black one. That works too. Just let your kids wash it. So definitely need to get you a retune. Hit me up on email for that, Gabe. We'll get that across the line. All right, what else we got? Oh, yeah. So those of you with 981s, you might not have noticed because not a lot of people buy this, but we discontinued the GT3 muffler adapter kit for a little while for the cats and for the valves because they were just kind of a pain in the dick to make, and they were getting really expensive, taking a lot of time from manufacturing to make a few and then put them in inventory. So there are a lot of 3D printed parts now that we are using to produce this, and it's saving an immense amount of time. Things are a little bit more expensive for us to build, but the time savings can't be beat. I mean, you can see pretty much where all the 3D printed parts are. The inlet and outlet for the cat are both 3D printed offset cones. The valve section, that's printed one piece with the V-band. and then it goes into the bellows, goes into the valve, and then we got 2 pieces that are 3D printed as the outlets, which is fantastic. It's saving us an enormous amount of time. Philip can make these in a pile of them in like a day, like tick, tack, tack, done, and then they get welded and we're done. The other is a single bend with a flange on it, good to go. So any of y'all who are, we've got a whole, yeah, this is the old way. The valves were a pain in the dick because that's like 1, 2, it's 2 bends and a cope and like 3 or 4 operations where it would get tacked, go to weld, come back, get fixtured again, get some more tacks, some more hole saws, some more stuff, get done. So we're trying to really incorporate 3D printing into a whole slew of areas in our operations, mainly to continue to keep ourselves small. It isn't always super cost effective just from a cost of goods sold standpoint. But from a longer term capacity for us to build new parts and build new things and keep bringing new parts like the GT3 RS muffler, which has been wildly successful, and to get in front of that before we release it to the GT4 and Spider crowd, which Justin is over there shaking a little bit. Oh God. Because he's the one that welds them. This has been very helpful. It's been very helpful. So, nah, you got, yeah, luckily you don't work for them anymore. Those welds were shit, dude. Those welds were not good, especially with an oval tube. Can't do it. The true print would have been cool, but this is still way cheaper than buying that tool. We do have somebody trying to sell us a laser welder still. So I think it's, is that Lincoln or is that Miller? Still Miller. All right. We actually designed this is more for Oris than anybody else. We designed a titanium printed trailing shield, and we're actually going to market it through Central Welding. We're going to sell it to them because they're like, you did a what? And we designed it. We're having it printed. So we're going to sell it to them. They're like, holy shit, this is dope. And they'll market it and we'll see if maybe it'll offset some of our argon usage, which would be great. So, quick update on that for those of you that care. We went from getting cylinders of gas to getting carboys. What are the big things called? Not carboys. No, the ones that we get now, the big boys. Cryos. Big cryo tanks of argon. And now we're getting a external micro bulk. Just to give you an idea of how much we're growing and welding. We've got like a micro bulk that's going to sit outside full of liquid argon because we go through so much of it. Like I think when Charles welded a muffler in a day, do you have that time lapse still? Let's show that again because we got a different crowd that I don't think saw it last time. So Chuck D said, I asked him, I need Justin to do some photo stuff. So you're going to have to weld a muffler for a day. And he's like, okay. He came in early and it took him 7 hours. And this is like a 3-day operation because Charles is a welding superhero. And for those of you that are really keen, please note when he changes hands and he's welding left-handed versus right-handed. Yeah, 7 hours for, and this was like a potty break and a water break. That was like 7 hours of straight fucking welding. It's kind of nutty. Yeah. So Justin was thinking that it would take him probably 3.5 to 4 hours, which means that Justin has been pretty damn on point with how long it's been taking him to get these across the line. So, and they are a spare. There is a lot going on with these mufflers. Sometimes the development for make it powerful, make it sound good, make it not drone, make it do all the things means that the manufacturing is not as quick and as easy as one might like. So, all that said, we are continuing to work the problem. This one needs a little bit more time and grade. Our lifetime mufflers were similar when we first started with them. They took a little while. We made enhancements, and it's Kaizen, baby. It's Kaizen. You got oh, dude, 7 hours for one muffler. For Charles, it's more like 3 days. For a regular welder, it's 3 days. Yes, Mike. Doing it like nonstop, focusing, one muffler, 3 days. So when I have to raise the prices and they're $10,000, you guys will understand why. Because they're a giant pain in the ass, but they are the best possible thing you can do for your 4RS or your GT4. They give you all the power. They sound great. You can quiet them down with quiet tips so that you don't blow sound. They don't drone. We checked all the boxes, and it took us only 2.5 years to develop it. Maybe 3. I think it's more like 3. Maybe it's more like 3.5. Yeah, it's 2024. The GT4 was 2020. Fuck. Yeah, it's taking a minute. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll get there. Between that and I've been very happy to see that MCS is becoming more and more a part of the conversation with how your upgrade path on a GT4 or a GT4 RS. More and more folks are mentioning that to me. We're getting more phone calls about it, both from inside the Facebook forum groups. That means no, your GT4 RS kind of sucks. It's really not as good as you think it is. It needs this, and then it's really good. And I know, Mike, you already know. I know you're taking your time and you're exercising it the way that it needs to be. Let's talk about MCS for a second. Mr. Chuck Diesel is not here yet, but it's okay. I will be able to demonstrate that I can't get this shit back together even though I can get it apart. So, the reason we have these dampers in front of us, and this is important for everybody who buys these parts, is they come from the factory with pressure in this canister, which means that there is about 120, 150 PSI in this canister and in this line and all the way into this damper. This is a quick disconnect. Wow. This part right here, quick disconnect. And so if there's 100 PSI in here, you better make damn sure that you can push this back together when you take it apart. It's pretty easy to take apart. Pull it apart, comes apart. This one has 0 PSI in it. And it'll go back together with normal engineer human strength. Charles can put these back together with 175 PSI in it. But he has mechanic hands with 30 years of experience on them, and he has ungodly strong fucking grip strength. I don't know how he didn't end up with carpal tunnel or some other fucking thing. It's crazy. I don't even know if I want to try and take this apart. So, but we'll try. There you go. Comes right apart. How about that? And I am sure that I cannot put this back together. Got it back together. Ha! Take that. But you wouldn't want to try and do this in a car. So, this is the handy dandy pressure gauge we give you. This happens to go where this cap is. And I didn't cut myself. So that's good. That's just a small indentation in my very girly thumb. This gets screwed on. I'll try and get out the way. There we go. This is a good video of like how to stay in the way of the camera. Cooperate. And don't cross thread. There we go. So that gets put on there. I'll move some of my fucking fingers out of the way. There we go. MCS in the house, yo. That goes on there, gets tight. You slowly, ideally this is not connected to nothing, but connected to nothing is fine. Do that. Slowly bring the pin into the Schrader valve. There we go. So that checks it to the gate. Oh, that's actually nice. You can actually see how much is in here. And we're slowly letting it out. Yeah, these are at almost 170. So, oh, I got to let it out from that Schrader valve too. It doesn't just flow out. How about that? So, I'm learning something. My pen is not adequate. We have the technology. This is live television. I have a screwdriver. That's all you need. It's not a very big container. Now notice that there's very little PSI in here, like maybe 2. And as much effort as it took me to get this apart before, let me take this off. Take this off. Don't open it up with your whole thing. Larry, that's a great idea. There's this 991.1 GT3 that we bought that's very stock. I wonder what we might be up to. So, yes, that is a fantastic idea, Larry. So now, you can take it apart. Doesn't fly across the room. And also put it back together with normal effort. So all of you that have done this on your own and installed these parts on your own and not bled this down and then call me up and say, hey, this doesn't work. Or worse, when you couldn't get it together, you opened up this banjo bolt right here and cavitated your dampers. Doug knows what I'm talking about, meaning that you let air into places that air should not be, and then they start making weird noises and they stop working as well as they should. It's because you didn't read the instructions, and or you didn't call and ask. Now you know. We're going to take this snippet and we're going to make this a little bit, and we're going to share this with the world so that everybody can see. So, a little bit of help, a little bit of easiness, a little bit of, I don't know, public service announcement, if you will, and make it so that I don't have to talk to technicians that are like, hey, these dampers are weird. I'm not sure what's going on. I can't get this line back together. Well, did you depressurize it? Oh, what's that? What is that? Indy. So, Larry Beck, Jamie, we need to have you do one of your deep dives on setup, especially now that you've got all suspension bits. Have you and Ted take a fresh install, put all your default setup, go to track and go. Yes. Yes. We will be introducing, as these parts get on the website as packages, we will revisit what's needed for geometry, what's needed for what stage you are, either both tires, driver, track. It's a good opportunity for us to make another blog article, maybe another video about what do you need, why do you need it, and for what car. You know, there are some cars, a 991.2 GT3 RS YSOC package. I've had not much, and package, Frisky Y Day. The YSOC GT3 RS does not need much. It comes with a lot of rose joints, a lot of spherical bearings right from the factory, and you basically need tension arms and sway bar end links and whatever you might need to get some more camber on it. Welcome, Mr. Chuck Diesel. Did you get your burrito?
No.
It's still on the counter if you want it. You can eat a burrito and be on Whiskey Friday. It can be Burrito Friday.
Burrito Friday?
It was Burrito Friday for me earlier.
One day we'll do the Funny Names Friday, but...
Yeah, Funny Names Friday. So I was actually able to get this back together with pressure in it. I felt proud of myself. 175.
Does it? This one?
No, it's dead now. I demonstrated it and pulled it apart, but I was like, God damn, I can do it? Well, shit. I can do it once. So, Larry had a request. We were just talking about that. We need to do a deep dive on setup and with all of our new bits, what they're for, why we have them, that kind of thing. And we can get through that. I think that's a good video. I think some of that might happen if we can get all the bits and a video of it on the 3RS. That might be a good like 3 to 4 minute kind of video. Here's all the stuff that we did. Here's the car out on track, blah, 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 that kind of thing. Because we'll do all that on the white car, I'm sure.
Yeah, all the front of the white car at least is the same.
So let's talk about the white car. So we had this funny thing happen. Do we have a picture of the goo for the lab mouse? Where Robert does, because he's the one that took a picture. Are you still here, Robert?
Just find a picture of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle goo and just color it gray.
Literally, there was goo on the ground underneath of the white GT3, and we're like, what the fuck is this? It looked like...
It leaked out while it was on the dyno.
Gray toothpaste. Yeah. I was like, I didn't think of it at the time, but Charles was looking over the car because we're going to take it to the track next week. He's like, oh, one of the engine mounts shit the bed. That's what all that was. Ah, magnetoreological fluid. That makes sense. That would look like gray toothpaste. That's
exactly what it spelled out on the ground.
It's exactly. It spelled it out, magnetoreological fluid. So I'm watching Three Body Problem on Netflix, and anybody who hasn't seen it and is a sci-fi nerd needs to watch it because it's actually pretty cool. If you haven't seen it yet, it's actually pretty good. So keeps you guessing for a minute. Finales tonight, I think, at least for us. So anywho. So that car will get the full jam, and we are taking it with nice. I already trademarked Lab Mousy for my base Cayman. Well, ours is white, so it kind of fits. Every other car we have that's a rat that's black.
I said if we needed to call it Pinky.
Actually, Pinky would be better. Yeah, actually. That's almost better. I don't think many would get it if we had maybe that's a license plate.
Yeah.
Pinky. That's way inside.
And then just need the sticker on the back window or something.
Lab rat on the black one and Pinky for the white one. Yeah. That's pretty good, actually. We need a snake. Something that I don't know what would eat those. A viper, but I'm not a Mopar guy, so
I don't know if it would eat them, but
yeah, probably not.
Yeah, the sticker.
Pinky in the brain. Yeah. That's a little bit behind my time, but I still got the reference.
Philip's just gonna take the Patrick SpongeBob memes into stickers.
Yeah.
And just put them on the respective cars.
I think that's probably appropriate. That's appropriate. So white car is essentially going to the track next week. It has side deletes and a tie muffler because the side mufflers that were on it and the Sharkworks could not be in a video that had Dundon on it. I wanted to...
Well, that and they were broken.
And they were broken and leaking. So kind of had to get that shit out of here. So now it's got tie muffler and side delete. So we didn't put any power adders on the car. We're going to leave the tires that it came with. It actually has a reasonable track alignment on it. It's got some caster pucks. It's got an adequate number of shims. Looks like it has, quote, enough camber. It's not like bone stock, but it's probably not how we would have it, but I'll call it good enough for Ted to go out and set a base lap in it the way it came.
It's how it showed up. So
it's how it showed up, right? I want to do it as it showed up. Hopefully it doesn't blow up because we haven't actually done a visual inspection of it, but there wasn't any metal. Oh, did you look at the filter yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I can't find my oil filter cutter, so I might need to go buy a can opener. It works sometimes.
You can just like murder, death, kill it.
Yeah. Chainsaw.
Just take an angle grinder. Hey, there's metal in here. Oh, you don't say.
I told a guy years ago when he needed to cut his filter open, use a bandsaw, and he had a little porta band, so he put it in his vise and he cut the filter open. Then was like, "Dude, there's so much aluminum in the filter. What happened to my motor?"
Yeah, you don't say. Wah wah wah. Sorry.
Oh, honey.
Oh, honey. Oh, honey. So Lab Mouse is going to essentially be as we got it with 51,000 miles on it. Already had it on the dyno. It's pretty close to stock power. It's like 6-7 off of what we would expect it to be.
Yeah, 610, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's like 394.
Ooh, better license plate name, Algernon.
Algernon. God. Now these guys won't have any. They won't have any idea what you're talking about. Hey, That's a book we had to read in school. They didn't have to read that in school.
Group will know what we're talking
yeah,
about.
right. So from 0 to hero is essentially what we're going to do with the 991.1 GT3. So it's going to go from baseline laps, the way it came in. I've got Dougie's beautiful fin speeds in gold. We're going to leave them gold. It's going to be a white and gold car. It's going to look fucking gorgeous. It's going to get all suspension bits, all the MCS, our soon to be released aero parts as soon as they're done. Full power package. Might be some tricks up our sleeve for that. We'll see. And we're going to go send it. And I expect, I'm going to throw it down. I think we go 10 seconds faster between stock and full jam. I think Ted might go 10 seconds faster.
Wait, a .1 making... Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's correct. A .1 makes about 390 to 400 to the wheels.
The highest we ever had on our dyno was Sean Dillman's car made 410.
And it was like brand
like
fucking new.
5,000 miles, mint perfect.
Was it?
Yeah.
I feel like it was brand...
5,000 miles.
Well, yeah, I suppose brand new
like
enough.
it'd
yeah.
Been never really
yeah, never really pushed, right?
And it was good, nice, cool weather, no humidity. So
yeah.
It was about the highest, but most have been 398 to like 404.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, a .1 is... This is one of the cars. This is why everybody asks, why don't you do like brake horsepower? Why don't you do horsepower at the engine? Why do you do horsepower at the wheels? It's like, because Porsche lies. That's why. Because a 997.2 GT3 RS is the same power as a 991.1 GT3.
Actually, another way to describe it, I was thinking this the other day, was when everyone wants brake horsepower, not just wheel, which kind of is all that matters.
Right.
Another way to look at this would be take your lap time, and where the ridge is not sea level in ideal conditions. Well, imagine all your lap times weren't converted to sea level ideal conditions. So the actual time you ran around the track wasn't actually what you posted. It calculated, oh, well, you could have run a 145 flat today, but you actually only ran a 147.1.
Right.
But we're going to say you ran a 145 because under the perfect conditions you might have.
Right.
So you're correcting and changing the actual number to something that's kind of theoretical and it's calculated versus an actual number.
Yeah.
Versus something measured.
And Gabe brings up a good point. So he's saying that his 991 with our headers and a tune was
an RS, right?
No. His 991.1 GT3 was 460.
Yeah, that's believable.
Yeah. So our headers add a lot
to
a 991.1 GT3.
Joel's car and Jesse's car.
Yeah.
With the full everything on it.
Yep.
No tune.
Yep.
Both did 450.
Yeah.
With the touring airbox.
Yep. Touring airbox, plenum.
A 991.2 GT3 better airbox. They made more power, but it doesn't fit in the deck.
Yeah, we couldn't fit it in the deck lid, right?
So if your car dynoed 410, then 460 correct.
Yeah, I'd say that's not wrong, unless it was at the World Motorsports dyno.
Then
like
your car's broken.
Correct.
Everything makes 500 there.
Like we'll get back to that. The World Motorsports dyno has a 15% adder that they add to every car that shows up versus what it actually measures. because they don't want to. They want people to keep paying them money for hero numbers, not necessarily tell them what really their dyno says.
Yeah.
And I love the guys at World Motorsports Dyno. They built a great facility, but I wish they'd just be real. Because now we've got the smoking tire down there saying that his car makes 520 wheel horsepower, and it's just complete bullshit. Yes, I said it. It's complete bullshit. Even with Mitch at the keyboard, complete bullshit. Because we've had that exact.
Especially on 91.
Jesus Christ. We've had 2 demand cars here on our dyno on 92 octane. Nowhere close to that number. Nowhere fucking close to that number. Not even in the same universe as that number.
No,
So,
Tyler's.
It make like
Tyler's,
460.
I think, would have made 450, 455 if we could have tuned it.
Yeah, if it was possible to tune it.
We didn't want to touch that.
No,
So
I didn't want to be responsible for it by tuning it. So, for instance, the 517 that was purported on Instagram by Smoking Tire was 455 on our dyno. And what did Doug Hansen's car make?
What did it make? I already forgot.
Well, it's 400 stock.
Well, his PDK. So
Yeah. Oh, that's right. So it's like 365 stock.
What did it? It was just shy of 420.
Yeah.
It's like
just
418 or
yeah,
something.
418, 419 with bolt-ons. So that's a headers, muffler, tune.
We expect stocks like 365, I think.
Yeah, and stock's 365 for that. So a manual car might make a little more. But yeah. This is that's it. That's it. Nicely done. So I guess the takeaway here is just educate yourself and know what you're using as a measuring tool, right? Before and after. Always before and after. Don't take.
I'm gonna go on The Biggest Loser and say I weigh 200 pounds. I win.
Exactly. 100%. 100%. Yeah. I started. I'm 800 pounds. How much do you look very thin? No, I'm 800 pounds. I promise you. I was.
You did.
You just didn't see it.
You gotta believe me. Trust me, bro. Scratch and dent.
Scratch and dent sale. This is somebody sending it on track real hard. We love this. So these are Amit's headers from his 992 GT3 Lab Rat, and he sent it pretty hard over a curb. And
so those runners have curb appeal?
They do now. They have appealed to some curbs. So it didn't break. This is why we use 321, but it is certainly ground off a bit and dented. But this is why we do what we do. There wasn't really a reason to. I mean, there might be a little bit of restriction in that runner because it's got slightly smaller cross-sectional area, but there wasn't really much there. Yeah. Right. I mean, it was probably, Philip was saying that it wasn't really dented that bad on the inside, but it was ground down pretty far. So nice. What did you say? We got a mic? Mikey Mike?
Yeah, I didn't think it was are they tuning the car? Is it the demand stuff?
What? Who said that?
The winter circle at the bottom.
Oh, no. So Mitch and M Engineering will show up when called by large media outlets. And Mitch is at World Motorsports Dyno, and good for him, to try and tune the car. Unfortunately, he knows and we know that car is going to go into a bit of a death spiral between knocking, pulling timing, going into component protection because the EGTs are too high, wanting to add fuel, which makes the EGTs higher, and it just kind of keeps going down this hole,
I don't know how much
never ending.
They actually know, though. That's what's interesting.
Yeah, well, you would hope they do. They are a tuning company and world renowned. You would hope they do.
We're going to start posting all of our results with race gas, but then sending them with like 91 Cali tunes.
No.
Doug, we got you another 100 horsepower.
Hey, it's 100 horsepower. You have a 600 horsepower car. Off you go. What we're thinking about doing, this would be funny. So nobody believed us with the results that we got on our Cup car.
Yeah, we need to send that down there.
We should send the Cup car down to World Motorsports Dyno. I bet you it makes 700 wheel horsepower.
Yeah.
On that dyno. In fact, 550 wheel on ours is probably 700 wheel on theirs.
Yeah.
Just doing that quick math, 1.15.
It's 550 in the summer.
Yeah, it's 550 just, and it's funny, it doesn't knock. It doesn't care. IAT is inconsequential for that car.
Yeah.
There's no density change. It doesn't care at all.
Yeah.
Our Cup car does.
It's nice when you don't have the emissions side.
Oh,
stuff.
fucking A, right? There's no cats to protect. There's nothing. It's just fucking full send. And Gabe, we need to get you in a Cup car, bro, because fucking send it. All this other shit. We need to get you in.
We just need one of these days when the new exhaust gets on the Cup and runners are on the Cup and all the arrows sorted on the Cup.
Yep.
I keep saying we just need to send the car to somebody who knows how to use it,
yeah,
drive it, tune it.
Yeah. That'd be an international GT contender at that point. Once we get it done, we'll be like, hey,
they're gonna say we're cheating again in the IMSA catalog. They're gonna create another rule for us.
Yeah, IGT. So IGT actually made international GT racing. They used to go up to 4.0 was what all the Cup cars ran, and then they had another class for the GT3 RS and anything else that might show up.
GT2, yeah.
It's they called it 4.1.
Okay.
So they call it 4.1. They actually pushed all the cars with our power mods, all the Cup cars with our power mods on it to 4.1 because they were clubbing baby seals in their own class, and they were actually winning outright versus GT3Rs, which is kind of absurd.
Yeah.
So much so that
of Twatty passing Safronis in the GT3R.
Yeah, it's like that was especially passing Safronis. That was woo. That was dope. So much so that we get a lot of folks asking us to help them with their 992 GT3, but unfortunately we haven't found exactly the right partner to develop a 992 GT3 yet because they don't want to send us the car. They want us to send them the parts, and then they're gonna do the dyno and stuff and tell us how it works. And no, that's not how this plays. No,
we
because
can do that, but it doesn't work.
Correct. Yeah. Because you're gonna just call me and say, "Oh, hey, we dynoed it and we didn't see anything." Well,
let's just do a post dyno at World and call it a day.
Pretty much. So anyway,
the Delta doesn't matter there.
White car is gonna go on track. I'm gonna get some good parts on it. It'll probably be, I don't know, it'll probably be a month or so before the white car gets back on track. Doesn't race car gas additive hurt the car? No.
O2 sensors.
It can wear O2 sensors prematurely, but it doesn't, quote, hurt the car.
Well, okay. On that, the one thing I know about those additives, which this will be your chemical expertise, is if you mix it in a non-UV safe container and it's in sunlight, it will, I'm going to use the word deteriorate, which is probably the wrong word.
It's correct.
And
close enough.
If you let it sit in enough sun exposure, even if it's just outside on the racetrack, for a day, and then you go to use it, it changes how the fuel burns. And then it will eventually cause damage where you wish you had Cali 91 in the car.
Correct.
That's when it's a problem. So essentially they tell you, which the stuff, it does work. I've used it. I tell everyone keep some if they're unsure on fuel wise, but you essentially need to mix it in the jug, shake it up for a bit, and then put it in your car. They do say if you're going to store it inside in a trailer without close proximity to the sun, you're okay. For a bit. So
that's why it comes in metal cans.
Yes.
That's why it comes in metal cans.
Yeah.
So the reason it turns it orange is that's the byproduct of the chemicals that they have in there to make the flame front run slowly, which is what octane generally adds to gasoline. Additive can build up though, right? Not sure.
Not in the engine. I've taken motors apart with it. It never shows in the combustion or in the piston or the chamber. But always in the exhaust pipe.
Right.
For sure. But,
you know, as opposed to it being black like gasoline. What's that?
Yeah, we always see it built up on the flaps and then the cats
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah, but
Flaps and
everything,
cats and stuff
the
like that.
exhaust will
but-
always get coated with it, but I've never
Yeah.
seen any engine parts coated with it. But it,
Yeah. It's far better than running 91 Cali swill or the equivalent and going on track. So we would, if we had our druthers, we would say run 100 octane or MS 109 or any of the other wonderful products from VP to do that. You know, something pure,
And even
something nice.
a note from what I've done, I don't even think Cali 100 degrees, 90, 100 degrees out on the track and say, Larry, say for you or whichever. 100's enough, but if there was higher, I would definitely go higher.
Yeah.
Because I can still get it to knock on 100 just a little bit. So.
Right. Right. Especially a 718.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially a 718 GT4. GT3, not as much, but yeah.
I have drank a full can of the race gas additive, and it tastes pretty good. And then I went in the hospital.
It said NOS on it, right? Isn't that like NOS?
Yeah.
You're like supposed to.
I'd rather have MS 109.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if it smells better or worse.
It does. It does smell pretty good. It smells like cancer, but you know.
Oh, what was Brian's other question he had? Can you scroll up, Justin? Before I forget.
DSE controller.
Yeah.
Yes, we have them on the site. They are. We have them. 991.2 GT3. They honestly, they do a little bit. They don't do a lot.
The cars they definitely do the most for, I think, 997 Turbo.
Yep.
997.1 GT3 RS.
Yep.
Daryl has one in his car wired it into the
Yep.
accelerometer.
They do really well.
Actually was great in that car.
Yeah.
And 981 GT4, it's pretty good. But
Yeah.
there's
So the thing that people were missing is it is Porsche active suspension management. So it's already active. By putting a DSC in there doesn't make it more active. It's already active. It just allows you to tailor it.
Yeah.
And Porsche got better and better and better with it as they went. So by a 991.2 GT3, it's already really good.
Yeah.
Factory.
Like the 99, if anyone else gets to drive a 992 RS and you swap between, regular versus sport on the suspension, the difference is not that much.
It's not really
Yeah.
a lot. It's not really a lot. So
It's awesome.
I would-
more awesome.
I would honestly tell you, if you're thinking about, and this is a giant change, and the price point of a DSC is very attractive, that it might be able to address some magical large change in how the car feels when you're driving it down the road. I would consider an MCS package over that. A two-way MCS package like our friend Eric Bond did on his 991.2 Touring is transformative. That car feels fucking amazing. And if it made me want to get a 991.2 GT3 manual. It really made me, if I didn't have one in orange in a 997.1 shell sitting there waiting for me one day when we get it finished, I would probably go start shopping for one now, because it was really that fucking good. It was really that fucking good.
One thing DSC does make a difference for, not that I'm trying to campaign to sell those.
Yep.
Up here in dry desert Seattle.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
wet and rainy. In the rain, it's definitely, the car is more stable with it.
Sure.
But I don't think everybody's trying to mod their car performance-wise so they can drive
To be a
faster in
submarine.
the rain.
Yeah, to be a submarine.
But it's definitely a little more stable in the wet. You can tell, but that's, I don't know, opinionated, I guess.
Yeah.
91 E10 is better than 91. Actually, most people don't know this.
Yep.
All the DFI
I've
cars.
said this. Yep.
Yeah.
They
all the
like ethanol.
fuels. The octane, it's a 2 to 3 points of more octane.
Yeah.
Even though it's less actual gasoline, but
So when they say, "Oh, we're going to upgrade it to 15% ethanol," I'm like, for DFI, great. Make it 20.
yeah, we have 92 E0 here,
Yep.
and the cars don't like it.
They don't like it as much as 92
Yeah.
E10.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's The reason that ethanol gets a bad rap is for a lot of the air-cooled cars, a lot of the older cars with rubber seals that ethanol or alcohol will eat away and make the fuel system leak and all this kind of stuff. DFI cars, you don't have that problem with. What's that? Carburetors clogging, that kind of thing, getting all gummed up.
It will carbon up faster if the engine does not get up to temp faster.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So, what's that?
Carburetors and stuff. What about fuel injectors? Your car sits all winter.
Probably. It's still an orifice. Yeah. Yeah, that's why you're supposed to not let it sit all winter. Start that shit up, go rev it up, go drive it hot.
Especially with these cars.
Right?
Yeah.
Brian, for you, I would save your dough for your touring since you're going to keep it. You're going to put the tune on it. Going to make it 500 horsepower. Let's get MCS two-ways on it.
Do you already have a D3?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fun. Just no tune, no cob?
No cob yet. Yeah,
Ooh.
we talked about it recently. Car comes out of warranty in a few months. So, and Brian's got all of our goodies. He's got a D4 997.1 RS that he bought.
Oh.
I guess you guys already got his tune together. It was Mantis that put it together. So a couple months ago. Car's back there because the transmission didn't get done right. It's grinding into fifth gear. So.
I know why.
Yeah.
Yep. Common. Needs a shift fork.
Yeah. It's kind of what they figured, but it didn't get changed. So.
Yeah.
So now it's 26 hours away because he lives in Nova Scotia, and now it's back in wherever the fuck Manus is, Toronto or some shit. I don't know them. I'm learning my Canadian provinces now that we have customers up there, but I didn't know them very well before then. So, yeah. Let's talk a little bit. We're dropping a YouTube video probably Monday, late Monday. Let's roll this beautiful footage. We wanted to share you guys with some stock footage so you guys have some insider knowledge. This is our friend, Mr. Seth Thomas. He is a racer, has been for a long time. Road Atlanta is his home track. And he is driving a stock 991.2 GT3 RS of his friend, Mr. Chris Wadle. They have matching cars. It's like they're matchy little twinsy friends. Yes, he had to get around this guy, but you'll notice that he didn't let off, and he's a racer. He's like, saw him moving right, just kept his foot in it and got past him. So when somebody says, "Oh, he stopped, he had traffic," that lap is
slowed him down 5 seconds.
At least 5 seconds. At least 100,000 people, maybe 1 million people. He's coming up on, I believe, Sean Grower, because if that was Lee, Lee's gone.
Yeah.
So that's Sean Grower and Sean's 992 RS. Sean is the founder, one of the founders of Smokey's GT. Those of you lucky enough to go, it was a wonderful time. I wish more of our guys here in the Northwest would join us. Doug and John McClellan had a wonderful time, and if you all want to come, please let me know. I'm trying to get Eric Bond to come with us next time because I think he'd have a hoot, especially since he's got glaucoma and he has limited years to enjoy mountain roads.
So, yeah.
Which, that's a shitty thing to go down. Brian, you should drive down and join us, brother. Come down to Smokey's GT next April, May. Pick something fun. You've got a whole slew of cool things. So, lap time for Seth in the stock car was 131 something or other, right? You back that up for a second? You just back up the video. It stops with it. $131.4 for a stock 991.2 G3 RS at Road Atlanta. The video that we're dropping is essentially a shout out to Manti. We're going to drop the mic on them a little bit. So they're 4 or 5 seconds around 12.9 mile tracks. We're 4 or 5 seconds faster on 2.5 mile tracks. So, and we did it on 2 coasts, 2 different cars, and we compared it directly to the 992 RS because everybody's saying the 992 RS is the fastest it could ever be and blah, 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 and all this shit. Oh, really? Hold my beer. Let me show you what's up. So, you guys Stay tuned next week for that. We're going to have a little insider bit for next week's Whiskey Friday. But we will leave you with Ted's stock lap in the GT3 RS, and we'll let that play out if you got that one queued up. Yeah, the 4RS. 4RS stock.
Did you already show the Labrat 901.2 RS?
Oh, we're not gonna give away the whole video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're just putting the stock ones up there to refresh everyone's memory. Because we only have the lap times shared in the video, but not the laps. To make it so that it's not like a 25-minute video.
Yep.
We'll have them in the description, but we didn't share them in there. So.
Do we have just the laps posted on YouTube singly?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do.
You know, one thing I was thinking about doing with the 901.2 GT3 tune
Yeah.
was, I don't know, 5,500, 6,000 or so. Leave power down, then just have it bump up like 30 pounds of torque like VTEC. Just so
Bah!
it'd be funny. That bump adds 20 horsepower.
That's pretty funny. Is that the comparison? It's on YouTube. All right. I actually caught Justin flat-footed once. This is crazy. We even talked about this earlier. Oh, your YouTube crapped out? Oh, dumb. I know you had it queued up because we talked about it, so. Yeah, so this is the difference. The green line that is ascending is the difference between a stock GT3 RS and a full Labrat GT3 RS. It ends at 5 seconds. What's crazy is it ended at 5 seconds for anyone who drove the car before and after.
Mm-hmm.
For a pro, for me, for Paul,
Like
for
five
Doug.
you, right? Yeah.
It was I was right at 5. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. So the fact that we can extract 5 seconds both psychologically in the driver's mind of how confidence inspiring the car is to drive and absolute time out of the car, even with a pro's hand, is pretty astounding. So, and if you only got 5 seconds in 12.9 miles, I'd be really questioning how much psychological impact the parts actually have for the customer, besides the fact that they just spent $70,000 to get it done and they must go faster.
Yeah, which, I mean, this would equate to, well, additionally, I guess it would, that's the wrong word, be 10 to 12 seconds.
Yeah, it could. Well, we were on track.
20 to 25 seconds. Sorry.
Yeah. We were on track to do a 640, almost a 638 bridge to gantry at the Nürburgring.
Yeah.
If the temperature wouldn't have beat us.
Correct.
It was 80 degrees.
It was like 90.
It was 90 degrees. They
said it was 33.
Marcel Fossler was the driver. Look him up. He's a 4-time Le Mans winner. He's a part of Sportec AG. He's an old man racer now. He's 40 plus years old with 4 kids, and he ain't gonna send it like a 18-year-old like doesn't have anything to live for. Yeah. But he was like, yeah, these tires are done. We're done. Halfway through the lap, he was radioing in. He's like, we're done. I can't go any faster. This is it. These brand new fresh Cup 2Rs lasted 6 miles. Now you know why I don't like that tire. Yeah. Dumb. That's a dumb tire. So it's got 1 session in it and all done.
1 session. It's got 1 lap.
Yeah, not even, at the Nürburgring, not even 1 lap. It's got a half a lap. So this is Ted killing it, hating this car. He got out of the car and said, I don't want to drive this one anymore. I don't like it. Stock, did not like this car. You can see him correcting. You saw that at 8A. He's like, bro, hey, what the hell? Why is this car going all over the place? I know. For a race car driver, 40 is old, Larry. Come on now. Even Lee will say that. He's like, I don't have the reflexes of a 25-year-old.
Yeah, Lee used to be on a mission to wreck the car, but he just never did.
Yeah.
Until he did.
Until he did. And until he owned the car and he wrecked it at VIR. Yeah. But we don't talk about that.
Nope, that didn't happen.
Yeah, Cup 2Rs, big no. Supercar 3Rs, big yes, except for the fucking set that you got, which I have no idea what the hell that was about. Gabe got a bum set of 3Rs. His last stickers that he put on the car sucked when he was at COTA. He actually went back to the scrubs that he had and he went faster.
Oh yeah, that was at Super Lap, right?
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? So never seen that before. But anyway, it is about hamburger time, y'all. We spent about an hour and a half with you tonight. Thank you for joining in. We'll drop the movie on our YouTube channel, so like and subscribe so that you can see what's up. I won't bore you with bike shit, although I can tell that Doug's checked out because he hasn't commented much anymore. He'll probably catch up later. There's Tour de France highlights to watch.
Yeah.
It's almost getting close to his bedtime too, so I'm not sure where he's at. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend.
Have a good night.
Good night.